Good morning, class. So I had a question on Pronto about the title page. So maybe some of you haven't watched the other video. So I'm just going to kind of review the whole paper right now. And then if you're needing more detailed information on certain sections, just send me an email or make a question or comment on Pronto, and I'll just do a video for specific sections. So the title page for everybody needs to have something about social media and self-esteem. Your paper is about social media and self-esteem. So the impact that social media has on people's self-esteem. You can make that as general or specific as you want, and it should be based on the research that you've done. So, as I've stated before, you should have 3 articles, peer reviewed articles on self esteem, and 3 peer reviewed articles on social media. And most likely, you're going to find that you have articles that are similar. So, maybe it's specifically about college girls, or it's specifically about fear of missing out, or something like that. It could be anything. So your title should reflect that. If your most of your articles are about college girls and self-esteem, something specifically about their self-esteem, or something specifically about social media, then incorporate that in your title page. So I'm look at the things I'm showing you are straight from Canvas. So I started the title page. Now we'll go to abstract. So your abstract is going to be usually the last thing that you do. The reason being that whatever your research is on, you need to conduct that research, whether it's an experiment, whether it's surveys, which is what you're doing. Um, when you give out those surveys, which you don't have to do, I've done all of that work for you. But before I gave out those surveys, I didn't know what the results were going to be. So usually the abstract is done last. In our case, you could do it now because you have all the information. You have the 2 surveys. Um, I told you, and you can see on the results that 109 IVC students were given that survey. So you have the results of the survey, and then you also have the SPSS results. So you have all the information that you need in order to do the abstract. So like I said, you're going to talk about the results. 109 students were given the survey. You walked around campus. Well, you don't have to say you did. You can just say that the survey QR code was given to students around the campus. We walked around campus and handed out that QR code. It took about 10 minutes for the students to complete the survey. So all of that stuff will be used in the method section. In the abstract, you're just going to give a summary, just a very succinct summary about how it was completed. And then, as I was saying, about the method section. So go back here. Here's the first survey. Here's the second survey. Here's the survey totals. So it has your results there. And then the SPS survey results. So if I go to the research paper, I'll show you the methods part. So this is Purdue OWL, the website. So let me just go back here. The literature review part. So that is the 3 articles of self-esteem and 3 articles of social media, you'll be doing summaries of those, the lit review, which you already have done a sample of for a previous assignment. So you're just going to give a brief overview of those 6 surveys in the lit review. This is really long. Yours won't be quite as long. I don't expect it to be quite as long. So then here's the method section. The method section is where, again, you're going to be talking in more depth about the 109 students, IVC students that you gave the survey out to, that you gave the QR code, you walked around campus, you gave out the QR code, they took the survey, it took about 10 minutes for them to complete. The instruments were the 2 surveys. So the 2 surveys that I gave you, I just showed you on our Canvas toolbar, you will look those 2 surveys up and talk about them in a little more depth. So not just saying what the surveys were, tell me a little bit about those surveys. And then the procedure part is what I just said to you, that the whole process of how you did it. So you walked around campus, you gave the QR code to 109 students, you collected the surveys from them, they took both surveys, and it took about 10 minutes. Then if you go further down, you're going to get to, and this is where you can include some graphs. So I went too far. So then you're going to get to the results page. That's where you talk about your SPSS results, which was a positive correlation. And then in the discussion part, you're going to talk about your results. So did your results support your hypothesis? If it did, explain how it supported your hypothesis. If it did not, then you explain why. Like, what are the factors that you didn't take into account that if you were to do this study again, you would do differently because you didn't think about A, B, C, and D. So you'll explain either how it was supported or was not supported. And if it wasn't supported, that doesn't mean it was a fail. It just means that you learned from this study. And when you do it again, you're going to incorporate these factors that you forgot to incorporate, or you're going to maybe leave out something that you included that wasn't necessary and it threw off your results. So that's kind of a brief explanation of what the whole paper is going to be. The literature review that you did before, you can literally cut and paste that if it's one of the peer-reviewed articles that you're going to use in your paper. Let me see if there's anything else. When I talked about the results being a positive correlation, that's specifically going to be a Pearson correlation. In your intro, you'll want to have a section on social media and self-esteem, how they overlap, and then how it's relevant to college students, since those are the students that took the survey. And then you're going to end with your hypothesis. So I referred to the hypothesis a few minutes ago. You want to make sure to refer to that in your intro. So what do you think your results are going to be? You also, the intro is going to be the background of your study. So what is the purpose of the study? And how your study is going to influence studies that happen in the future. And then I think that's it. So if there's anything that I need to go over in more detail, like I said, just send me an email or put your comment in Pronto. That way other students can see it as well. and I'll be happy to do more videos. So, I mean, even if right now you don't have questions, but as you start working on the paper and getting further into it, you have some questions, I can do more videos. I have no problem with that. So I hope this helps, and I will be talking to you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.